and welcome to this week's episode of Rob's 3 R's, Rugby, Rants and Raves. I'm Niyantha Singh Miraj and this is Rob Haswell. So Rob, welcome and tell us what's on the menu for today.
Yeah, firstly, thanks for tuning in. Today's the second of the 3 R's, it's a rant. Last week, I tried to convince you I knew a little bit about rugby, more particularly that because of my size, I had to play scrum half. So my first rant is about the scrum half, one Jaden Hendricks, who
We're going there today.
committed for me one of the worst fouls and unsportsmanlike acts I've ever seen on a rugby field. So I'm going to rant about it because I take it that seriously. Scrum halves, as I mentioned, invariably they're short, cocky little people. They're known to chirp referees, and that's become part of the game, as it were. Natalians will remember one Kevin Putt, who played for Natal. He was a motor mouth. He never stopped talking.
Yes.
A very famous referee, Andre Watson, in one of the games, blew a sharp whistle and said, "Damn it, Putt, get off my shoulder, you're like a parrot." Okay? And Putt learnt. Another scrum half, a local college old boy, Craig Jamison, who went on to captain Natal. Craig learnt to speak quietly. One day in an ordinary league game at Woodburn, those of us knew him, and he would simply say, "Forward pass, offsides."
And everybody got the message.
Well, the ref got confused, never quite knew where this was coming from.
Yes.
And he'd think, well, maybe that was forward. So he'd blow the whistle. Now, in those days at Woodburn, you could sit literally right on the touchline. So there was Craig giving a running commentary, as it were. Eventually, the referee just thought, "No, I've had enough of this." And he blew his whistle sharply. He said, "Damn it, who's reffing this game?" And Craig looked at him and said, "Well, it's definitely not you." And of course, we all burst out laughing, and we went on. On another occasion, I knew one Tommy Duplessis, who played scrum half for Northern Transvaal in the days when Naas Botha was the king of Loftus Versveld. And the Blue Bulls coach then, one Brigadier Burman van Sail, tough character. He called Tommy Duplessis and he said, "Listen, this is your first game at scrum half. You are here not to do anything fancy. You're here to protect Naas Botha.
Okay.
If you throw a wild past him and he gets injured, you will never put on that jersey again for the rest of your life. So understand, if it's a bad ball, whatever, you take the punishment. You don't throw, under any circumstances, a wild pass that puts Naas, our match winner, under any kind of pressure." So, against that background, where you know that scrum halves tend to be chirpy, they tend to do things. Jaden Hendricks has been doing that now for quite a while. And a number of referees have basically told him to shut up and carry on playing. Doesn't seem to influence him and so on. And then in a more recent game, the other team were advancing towards the Sharks try line, a rolling maul. Hendricks are in an offside position. Okay, now, if you're in an offside position and you then play the ball, 9 times out of 10, you're going to give away a penalty try. So it's not something you should do lightly. This little guy kicks the ball out from under the opposition's feet. Of course, the ref blows the whistle, sends him off. Now, in my book, he prevented an obvious try. That's what rolling walls do. They are effectively unstoppable. There's nothing you can do. You can go offside deliberately, but you'll pay the consequences. So Hendricks goes off and he's almost smiling to himself. Like, okay, I got sent off, but I prevented a try.
Yeah, which is actually the purpose of it.
Yes, yes. Now, I watch a lot of schoolboy rugby and so on. I want to tell you, if a player in the under 14 C team at college did that, they would never put their jersey on again.
But then again, I mean, Jaden is a Glenwood boy. Now, isn't that a Glenwood style?
Well, I wasn't going to raise that, but my point is quite simply that should have been stamped out of his game a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Not wait till you get to international level and you're still doing silly things like that. Now, so what did he do? The game ended in a tie, doubled a tie again at the end of extra time. So it comes for the first time in the history of rugby to a shootout penalty, a la soccer.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so it's new ground for everybody. Jaden takes the second of his kicks, he puts it over. The Irishman now comes up to take his kick, and Jaden looks towards the camera and then quite gracefully sits down right alongside where the Irishman's supposed to take the kick. He sits down, the Irishman comes up and thinks, well, I don't know what's happening with this guy, but I'll take the kick anyway. So Jaden now, clearly intent to influence this guy concentrating on his kick. He decides now he'll lie down virtually on top of the ball, and he starts groaning. And you're thinking, what on earth, what is it? You got a sore stomach. What is it in the middle of a key point of the game? Okay? But then he gives the game away. He looks at this Irishman and at the TV camera, and he gives a long wink. Now, I've never seen anybody in a rugby field winking before. I've been watching rugby for 50 years. There's lots of things you might want to do, but winking an eye.
But isn't a wink a way of saying, how's it?
Yes, well, I think he was mocking the Irishman. I think he was saying
what's wrong in that?
Well, you can call it sportsmanship if you like. I don't think so. He was actually saying, up yours to the Irishman. You know what I'm doing. I'm disrupting you.
Yeah.
I may be faking it, but you have no way of proving that.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing anybody can do.
Yeah.
If I can say I'm cramping.
The Irishman's response was none the better, actually. Much worse than Jaden's, in my view.
Well, yeah, I'm not condoning it. In the end, the Irish guys were swearing profusely.
Yes, yeah, it was terrible.
And so on. But, you know, rugby football, as opposed to association football, which is what we call soccer. Now in soccer, it's standard practice. On a hard tackle, guys are told, go down, roll on the ground, grab your ankle, the ref will might give you a free kick.
Yeah.
If you're in the penalty area, fall down.
Yeah.
Every time there's a corner, somebody touches you, fall down. Try and fake it, get a penalty. That's standard practice in soccer. That kind of behavior, I can assure you, is completely contrary and foreign to rugby.
Yeah.
Where rugby, it's a hard, tough game. You take your hard knocks. If somebody gives you a cheap shot, you give them a cheap shot back at the appropriate time. There's a way to level things. You don't rely on the referee. So pulling a jersey, tripping somebody, those are regarded as cowardly acts, and they are. Rugby's a rough, tough game. There's no need to tackle somebody or grab the jersey or tackle high. There's no need to do that.
Yeah.
Because you've learned how to play, you learn how to tackle. I don't care how big or fast they are. If you pull off the right tackle at the right height, you bring Jono Lomo down.
Yeah.
And so rugby is a rough, tough game, but those are the rules.
Yeah.
It is ludicrous to go out there with the intention of deceiving the referee and everybody else. So, and let me end with that. So I find it completely unacceptable, Jaden's behavior. It should have been stamped out a long time ago. maybe he's been pulled up for it, but I haven't seen it. I think he should have been publicly rebuked by it. As I've said, any of the legendary rugby coaches that I've known would have called him in and read the riot act.
Yeah.
Would have said, you want to do that, go on the stage somewhere else, but not on a rugby field.
But did you see the follow-up articles? The verdict's still out there, in that it was actually a cramp.
Okay, let me deal with it. Even if it was a cramp, if it was a cramp, you wouldn't be winking. That's the first thing. So I have severe doubts about cramp. I suffer from cramps myself.
Yeah.
It's a painful thing. It's not something you smile and laugh about or wink about. It's not. So please.
Maybe the wink was a grimace.
No, it was not. It was a wink. I'm quite an old man, but I know what a wink is. Let's not change the subject now. Yeah. So, that's where that is. Let me end on that. Now, if they don't censure him, if they don't say stamp that out, mark my words, we'll be in the 27 World Cup and this guy's playing. And he pulls a stunt like that and a referee gives a penalty try and South Africa loses the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come to. You cannot allow an undisciplined guy at a big moment in a game. You cannot.
Absolutely.
He clearly doesn't know the rules or he doesn't worry about them. As you said, he went to a school where perhaps that's not encouraged, but it's admissible. It's allowable.
Yeah. What I've noticed in rugby, as you say, it's a rough and tough game, but I notice it at schoolboy level. There's an underwritten rule or law that you, even though you're rough and tough, you stand on principle when you're playing the game, hey?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, on rugby, a guy falls down in front of you, you can kick him accidentally or on purpose.
But you'll offer your
9
hand to
times
pick him
out
up.
of 10.
Yeah.
But if you do it, as I said, it's a cheap shot.
Yeah.
And you must know then the next time you're on the ground, one of their team will also.
Yeah.
I got kicked very badly in a game once, and I was sore and I was rolling in agony. I wasn't winking. And one of my fellow players came up and said, don't worry, I've got his number.
Okay.
And of course, 2 or 3 loose scrums later, this guy was found knocked unconscious at the bottom.
Yeah.
And everybody knew, hey, you want to play rough, then you must expect retribution.
Absolutely.
So rugby's been governed that way. It's a hard, tough game. There's no room for it. There was a wonderful rule in rugby, it's still there, that the referee is the sole judge of fact. Now, because of TMOs and everything else, in soccer and now also in rugby, TMOs and all of this, that it's a wonderful thing that you allow somebody to ref the game. And for good or bad, and referees are not gods, they're not imperfect.
Yes.
They can't see everything.
Absolutely.
And so on. From time to time they will make mistakes. It's the same in cricket.
Yeah.
LBW decisions, they're always controversial. Should the batsman walk or shouldn't he? Now eventually decent sportsmen will know there are times when you are going to be given out when you weren't out. On the other hand, there are times when you'll be given not out when perhaps you were out.
Yeah.
So before we had all these TV replays and all that kind of thing. So really so rugby is very much what is rugby? Rugby is not a street fight.
Yes,
It's
definitely
not for
not.
punching, kicking, eye gouging. But you can do it. You can get away with those. You're in a loose mall. Nobody can actually see what's going on. So you can accidentally tramp on somebody.
Yes.
You can do it. But you'll be punished for it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it has no place certainly at that level, and for him to wear a Springbok jersey and give away an unnecessary penalty to me would be unforgivable, but I can see it coming unless somebody else. But that's enough, and I just dislike that people think, well, he's just been a cocky little scrum half, let him. And I hear other comments say, well, it's good for the game, it adds character, it gives an edge, it gives you an advantage over your opposition. And sorry, in my book, it's totally unacceptable.
Are you giving Rassie a call?
I might.
let us know how that goes.
Rossi was quite clever. He said, look, as far as he's concerned, it was a cramp.
Yeah.
Now, of course, and somehow he looks at a photograph and says it's a cramp. Now, again, I wanted to, when you get a cramp, it's a serious thing. You'll know all about it. And anybody who can half smile and wink during a cramp is not having a cramp. It's as simple as that.
Yes, yeah.
That's like telling a mother, don't worry, childbirth is not painful. Please, please, it is.
Extreme, yes.
And I delivered my daughter's birth.
Okay.
So I know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
In that school. So please, don't come with natural childbirth. And no, it's quite easy to trip somebody or kick them. You didn't do it on purpose. It's absolute nonsense. But let me get off the rugby one.
Yeah.
The next ranked, the Proteas, our wonderful cricket team, underachievers, get labelled as chokers. They're brilliant. The minute they get to a semi-final or a final, you can sit back and say, okay, when is it? When are we going to choke? Okay. The most recent T20 World Cup, we play in India. Hendricks Klaasen and David Miller are in full cry.
Yes.
They're smashing them all over. And you certainly are thinking, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Finally, this curse, whatever you want to call it, is going to be broken. Surely nothing can stop us now. Klaasen, any ball that's slightly short of a length, he's hooking them into the crowd. And we're hitting 20, 30 runs and over.
Yeah.
So we are
well ahead.
1 over away. Miller, for once, is playing a secondary role.
Yeah.
Even though he's also a dramatic hitter. But you can see 1 more over of Klaasen like that, and the World Cup is as good as one.
Yes.
The Indians sense that, and goes back to what I was saying earlier, the one Indian lies down and wants some medical attention.
Another cramp.
Yeah. Now again, whether he was feeling bad or whatever, that's not for me to comment.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, on comes medical attention. He has a couple of sips of water, and miraculously, he's now recovered.
But there goes our momentum.
Heinrich, and if you look at Hendricks Klaasen,
Yeah.
I don't know if people are familiar of Vincent van Gogh's self-portrait of himself. He has those piercing blue eyes that look straight at you and right through you.
Yes.
Scary.
Yes.
Hendricks Klaasen, when he's in the zone,
Yeah.
is just like that. He looks and you're thinking, hang on, this guy means business.
Very serious cricket.
Anyway, the first ball after the resumption, Heinrich played and missed. And I thought, gee whiz, because he's lost his concentration. Boom. The next one, he mishit and he was out. And there went our chances of lifting the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he didn't choke, he just had his focus, sharp focus, interrupted and so on. A week ago, Hendricks Klaasen suddenly announces he's no longer available for the Proteas. And I'm thinking, wait a bit, we've got the World Cup T20 in South Africa in 27. This guy's our key player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he owes us one from the last one, but we came so close. Why would he suddenly do this? So then it comes out the usual stuff. I want to spend more time with the family. Quite acceptable, and so on. Then the details come out and you see, no, he's going to carry on playing in the SAT20, the IPL, the Big Bash, wherever.
Yeah.
But
not for the Proteas.
Not for the Proteas. Now, in my book, the Proteas come before all of those others. Okay, to me.
Yes.
As a patriotic person. And he said, I'm quoting him, said that the proudest days of his life was when he had the Proteas badge on his chest.
Yes.
That like any young boy in this country, he dreamt of one day representing his country.
Yeah.
So why then, if you have a choice between playing the SAT20 or the Proteas, you choose the SAT20. If you wanted more time with the family, say fine, hey, T20, I'm out this year.
Yes.
Or say to your franchise, hey, I'm only available for half the game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But put the Proteas as your number one.
Absolutely.
You told us that's your proudest moment, then
Make it
show
your
me.
priority. Yeah.
Show me.
Make
Don't
it your
then say,
priority.
okay, but I'm actually playing everything else, but not the Proteas.
Yeah.
So it doesn't ring true to me at all. And I don't know.
Blame the IPL.
Sorry.
Blame the IPL.
No, look, I understand professional athletes. You're only there for a few years. You want to maximize. I understand that. I'm not asking him to go bankrupt or maybe even the South African cricket people should have said, hey, pal, we win the World Cup. We're going to give you a bonus of more than what you get by playing in this or that. But for heaven's sake, Heinrich, you owe it to the country to win a World Cup for us. And you can do it in 27. You know it. You came so close last time.
Yeah.
That only that little thing. And I'm sure you'd be better able to handle that kind of situation again. So I'm
Come
making
back,
it.
Klaasen.
Come back, Klaasen. Yeah. All right. My third one. Maritzburg has just seen what the Comrades Marathon does for our city. It puts us on the world map.
Yes.
You know, I was at a function the next day, a Gandhi railway station function.
On Saturday before the Comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Saturday off. Yes.
Before the Saturday before. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
The day before.
a large number of people came in, and I wondered who they were.
Yes.
They were part of the 450 runners from India who'd come across.
Yeah.
And they announced that in 2027, India is planning to bring 1,000 runners.
Wow.
Okay. So 450, India was the highest number of foreign runners.
In this year's
They
Comrades.
beat the UK, they beat the US, who for years have dominated. So 2027 Comrades, the centenary of the Comrades is going to be huge for Maritzburg. You know, we look at our city hall, we marvel at the brickwork, the architecture. For the rest of the country and indeed the world, they only know our city hall because they see it at the start of every down run to the Comrades.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the Comrades is indelibly a Maritzburg product, just as the Doozy and the Mid-Mile Mile are. They're three crazy events. You talk to other people. I've got a granddaughter in America. She just run the Boston Marathon. She said to me, Kulu, don't get excited. In my right mind, I'd never dream of the Comrades. You're telling me to run two, non-stop? No ways, no ways. So I just think as a city, you know, we need to start saying, hey, this is a city, it belongs to all of us. We have a few positive things, a few unique events, which attract worldwide attention. And let me end on this note. I think in 2027, the Comrades is going to be so big.
Yes.
I'm certainly going to be writing to him and say, let's, as a city, let's consider. I don't know how many people we can accommodate for that event. But I'd hate us to say, look, we can only take 8,000 or 20,000. We should say if we have to run it over, if we have to have, you know, they started this year, they had two starting times.
Yeah, which worked quite well.
I think it worked well. I think in 2027 we should be saying we'll take 30,000 runners. We'll have 3 starts. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's do it. And secondly, in 2027, let's try and get people to come. It's no good training up in Gamadulas for the Comrades.
Come train here.
Come train here. So let's build a couple of local events. So we say, come to Maritzburg in January. Run a 15 or 20k, half marathon, and then qualify for Comrades again. In Maritzburg, we've got a marathon, build it up. So that Comrades in 2027 becomes something which fills the city, keeps us alive for 6 months, not for 6 hours before or after the race.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And on that note, Yeah, so if you're interested in 2027, you better start training now.
Rob's going to make sure that there will be space for you to run the comrades in 2027. Thank you, Rob, and that's a wrap. I hope next time we will have some raves and you are in a better mood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.